Hello my dears, this is Chris. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today's reading is about something totally different. I have never done something like this before, but something just passed my mind that what if I asked the tarot about the existence of God and the nature of the God? Because tarot is a spiritual tool and it is a tool that you can use to channel messages from the universe to your psyche. So I wish to know what tarot has to say about God, the existence of God or divine, how the God works and all these things. So if you're interested in this reading, please don't forget to join me and comment below your opinions on this. Get something to eat, get something to drink, and join me in this reading. Do the God exist? Please give me a clear messages. Do the God exist? Do the God exist? Do the God exist? Do the God exist? Okay, we had a card. We have Four of Cups, okay? And Four of Cups is a card about not being able to see a choice that's given to you by the universe. The cup is there. The choice is there. The God is there, okay? You have been through all these experiences in your life and all the cups, all the gods or the divines or the beliefs that you are familiar with and you couldn't find satisfaction in. And you look beyond that and you couldn't see the fourth option. Oh, the option of the God, the divine. That divine that will access you at some point in your life. So it's like it's one arm away. It's so close. The divine is so close than you think. It's really close. And I feel like we all live in a world where there's like a thin sheet that separates us from the spirit world. This is a message that came through. This is a world that we cannot see with our eyes. This is a world we cannot see, but we can perceive. Perceive with our heart, perceive with the waves, the energies, the frequency of our brain. It's something that you can feel. Sometimes you can feel it with your body, the intuition, the senses, but not see them, but cannot explain them fully with the physics or any laws of the physics. The God exists, but you cannot see them. You cannot see them unless you're given the opportunity for that. So it's like Four of Cups talk about there is a stuck situation and the option is given to you by the God. The solution to that situation is given to you by the God, but you are not seeing that, but it's still around, so you're gonna see that eventually. So it's more like when you want to fully experience that, when you want to fully experience the divine, the opportunity will be presented before you. And if not now, you're gonna see that eventually, and you're gonna experience. You are going to experience that, and this is a rare thing as well, because it requires you to see things through a different perspective that normally people won't engage in. It requires you to abandon your physical senses. I don't know actually how to explain it. It actually asks you to, it requires you to abandon your earthly feelings. Okay, that explains, right? Earthly, that the earth, like the human, the physical emotions, the physical sensibilities, and you have to look through a spiritual lens. I know sometimes the wording that I'm using is not, it's not really direct, but I think you can understand. I think if you tap into my energy, you can understand this. So the God is present, and the God. And now another thing that I'm getting is that the cups represent the heart. The cups represent the feelings. The cups represent the heart. That's the core of our living. That is the energy. That's from where the energy for our life is flowing out. That's from where the blood is pumping out. That's from where our will to live is pumping out. So God is something. God is someone who help us to live on, to experience the human life. It is the life force. So God is part of us. God is part of us. God is God, and as we are not different. But many times we don't see God in us, and we look outside. And when you look outside, you cannot see it. The only way you can experience a God outside of yourself is again by tapping into the intuition. It's again tapping into your heart. That's when you'll be able to see the God who is outside, who's also inside. So it's also inside and outside. Okay, and another thing that I could say is the importance of the moon. And I think moon is a planet or satellite that connects me with water. In astrology, moon is a planet that connects with the water, and water is the source of our life as well. And water is about 60-70% of our body, I think. So the water, the moon, the God is very water-like. The God is everywhere because water has different forms. God has different forms. God can be human, non-human, in between, a type we cannot explain. God can be animals, God can be plants, God can be the inanimate and animate thing. This is something that people don't understand. So when you think about the moon, the physical moon that we have, that's a satellite of the earth, that moon, it doesn't look anything extraordinary. It just feels like a formation on the universe, on the cosmos. It's just like a rock. It's a solid rock. But astrologically and mythologically and spiritually speaking, moon is a very relevant god or goddess or a very relevant planet. So it is a divine. It is a divine that we look up to every night, just like we look up to the sun. It is the light that gives us that happiness, that joy. It is the force that affects the femininity on the earth. So just like that, the God is present now in the livings as well, not just in the livings. God is also present in the non-living, in the organic and inorganic. So you might think that these plastic, these glass, these microfibers, these whatever, these human-made things, you think that the God don't exist on those. But in actuality, I am getting that God is in everything. God is in everything, on the universe, on the earth. Even if it's man-made, everything we make is also from the earth. So there's no difference. It's a little bit processed, but you get the point, right? So it's also giving me that God is a law. God is a form of law. God is a form of cycle, a law, a pattern. This goes so deeper because when you think about the pattern, there's geometry, there's like the sacred geometry coming up, there's a lot of these quantum physics, a lot of this mystical stuff coming up, but I'm just gonna keep it very simple. So God is the pattern. This is about the manifestation that just popped into my brain. So God is a pattern, right? If you believe the existence of God, you're gonna see God in the more typical godly forms. Okay, you're gonna see them like an entity. You're gonna see them like a divine sound or some type of divine thing. Okay, but if you don't believe in God, you are still going to experience God, but that's gonna be a different way. So if you're not a believer in God, you're going to experience God in a way that your boss gives you a salary or promotion, a better salary or promotion, or you just wish to be somebody and you achieve that. You wish to be a boxer, you're gonna achieve that, even without being a believer in the God. It's like God is for everybody, and it doesn't matter if you believe in the animate or the inanimate, because the God is everywhere. The God is inanimate and animate. The God is organic and not organic. The God is human made and natural. The God is in everything. So, and the reason why a lot of people the reason why a lot of people go through, even though it's kind of sad, I will say, this is how the law works. Okay, this is how the law works. I feel like even if you're suffering, even if you're in the bottom of society, even if you're bottom in the hierarchy, you can experience God. And if you experience a God, more it's like how do you perceive the God? How do you perceive what the God can give you? That depends on your future. That depends. That is the reason that will result in how your future will be unfolding. So it's like, if you are really poor and you believe that I'm gonna be rich, or I'm gonna have a better life in future. Somebody's gonna give me money. I'm gonna get this money, so I won't have bankruptcy and these kind of thoughts. If you have these kind of positive thoughts, or even if you don't have positive thoughts, you still have a belief that it's gonna happen regardless. That's gonna be coming for you. That's gonna happen for you. So the God is for everybody, and the reason of your suffering is not because of God. The reason of your suffering is because of the choices that you make, the decisions that you make, the perception that you have. It's not about the God. The God is always working on your favor. The God is always working on your favor. But it just happens that whatever choices that you make, whatever perceptions do you have, that's going to determine how the patterns is going to play out. So it's very karma kind of thinking, but it's not about happy thoughts. It's about the decisions, it's about the perception, it's about the perspective. It's about the perspective. Okay, let's get more cards. Let's get to know about the nature of God. Okay, please tell me more about the nature of gods or gods. I feel that there are lots of gods, but they all have the same. They all have the same base, it's just like the carbon or the oxygen. So please tell me about the nature of God, or gods or goddesses. Okay. Okay. We had the Four of Swords, we had the Three of Swords, we had the Father of Swords. So there's a lot of swords energy. Interesting. So, okay, God is really fast energy. It's a really fast energy that you can access through words, communication, that idea that goes through your mind, that knowledge that passed through you. That's how you can access to the divine plan easily. So with the Four of Swords, I feel like God is somebody or something that helps you to overcome stressful situations. and stay peaceful. And it's the same with God. I feel like God is made of chaos. The base of God is chaos. The chaos is made into pattern. The chaos has a pattern. That's why everything in the universe just looks so systematic, even though there are a lot of chaos. And God helps you to overcome difficult situations, help you to have a peace of mind, even if you are experiencing the worst time of all. And also, God is someone you can access to easily if your mind is at peace, if your heart is at peace, if you're serene, if you're peaceful, you can access to God easily. Away from the noises, I would say. You can access to God every time, but if you want to have a direct access to the God, the divine voice, you have to sit in silence, you have to sit in a calm, meditative state. And sometimes even altered state. I don't recommend that, but that's possible too. So Four of Swords, okay, this is the energy that talks me about the duality again. It's the chaos, the peace, the floods, the calm water kind of energy. So God has a duality. God has a duality, the good and bad, the evil and everything. But the duality is actually not so perfect. The duality is not perfect, and the duality is ever changing as well. So it's like every god, every goddess you have, you know of, they are not fully good or fully bad. They are in between. They are the mixture. So they are the mixture of good and bad. They are actually, in the God's terms, there's no good and bad. There's no division between good and bad. Whatever suffering you have is the result of your own doing, but the God has made patterns and structures for you to live on. It's up to you to decide which path you have to follow, which path you want to follow. So I'm getting that. Despite of some beliefs thinking that some beliefs point on the idea that they're evil. There actually no that difference between the deities or the spirits. There's no much difference, but it is possible. I would say there are everybody, every god, every goddess, every spirit. They are both. They are good and bad. They have both. They can be good and bad. They can be both. And also, it's possible for a good deity to go bad. Mostly, their humor is prone to change, just like the humans. And again, these gods and goddesses are the manifestation of the human mind, manifestation of the human will. Because a god, as I told you, the god can manifest before you based on your beliefs. If you're a believer in a certain deity and you think that this certain deity has these kind of features, they are going to manifest that way. Or you believe this deity is going to be really happy, they're going to manifest like that. But they are also prone to change, because the human mind, the human perception is prone to change. Okay. Then the second card I got is Three of Swords. And Three of Swords, I talk about heartache, breakup, the pain, the entanglement, and all this stuff. So it's like that. I feel like the divinity, the energy is often misunderstood. It's like it's something. It's reminding me of somebody's thought. I forgot whose thought was that. So it's like the human life is suffering, but that's suffering because you get tangled in things that you shouldn't be tangled in. But you can live life in another way to reduce that suffering. So it's like, and also this gave me that the more you second doubt, the more you doubt the divine guidance, more you doubt the thoughts, that impulsive, I won't say it's impulsive, I will say that the divine messages, the divine ideas that comes across you through your mind from the divine or the universal consciousness. If you ignore that, if you ignore that, it's gonna pass, it's gonna go to other person, that person's gonna realize that. And if you think about that in a bad way, if you're not sure about that, if you second guess that, that is gonna make your life a living hell. The more you doubt yourself, because you are also a part of divine, you are also divine. So the more you self-doubt, the more you doubt the God in you, the more you doubt the existence of the God, or the will you have. Because I would say God and will, there's no much difference. The will and God is the same, okay? Will is for the people, will or self-belief is for people who are atheists, and or even for beliefs who are people who are negative believers, people who have negative beliefs, and the God is for people who are believers, okay? So I'm saying that regardless of the believers, non-believers, regardless of your atheist or believer, whatever, the more you doubt that belief, the more you doubt that, the more you doubt on some idea that came across you, some mission that you feel like you should be doing, your life is gonna be getting really difficult. And either you'll be achieving that, or you'll not achieve that. You will have to go through the suffering because you didn't do what you are supposed to do. And it's not because God is angry at you, it's just because the path you have taken, it has these tangles, has these knots that you have to overcome. Sometimes these issues that you go through, the troubles that you go through, make you better. It kind of prepares you for a better life or a better character. But sometimes it can break you further, and that will lead you to a different path. And this path is also determine your decisions, your choices that you make. So that is a very interesting one. Three of Swords. And I hear many people blame God about the misfortunes that they have. Oh, we had this because the God wanted us to experience this sadness, the pain, or that some people will be saying that the God didn't help us, the God didn't do that, God didn't do this. But in actuality, the God tried to warn you, the God tried to help you many times. You just didn't hear it. You just didn't go to the path that will help you, that will have a better life for you, that may have given you a console, that might have given you a kind of relief, but you choose to take it another way. So every difficult situation can be taken in two ways, at least two ways. So whatever you're leaning to, whatever reality that you're leaning to, that's gonna be your dominant dimension, or your dominant life. So the dominant thought you have, the dominant perspective you have, that's gonna manifest as your life. So you have to be careful with that, even if you believe in God or not. So that's a message from the God. And then followed by that, we have the Father of Swords. So the Father of Swords telling me the intellectual capabilities of the God. So I would say God is everything. Even AI is a God. Even AI is a man-made thing. It's a human brain. It's model from the human brain, the internet, everything. The internet, the electricity. People do people think science is different from the God, or do people think science is opposite to the religion or the God? Religion, God, science, chemistry, biology, everything shows the presence of God. But that's you to define. That's up to you to define. So Father of Swords is a highly intellectual person, and he is able to see all directions. He's able to see the past, present, future, all dimensions, very quantum physics like. So the God is like that. The God is able to see the back, the front, the side, the left, the right, the top, the bottom. God can see all the dimensions. God can experience. The God lives through you, so God can experience every human at once, every second that every human and every animal, every bird, every fungi live. It's crazy because the God is ever knowing. The God is everywhere. So it's all kind of energy. It's all kind of this foundational thing, and this foundational thing has a pattern, and this pattern is something that the God created, the God maintained. Okay, this is a very expansive thought. There are lots of beliefs and structures around this cosmos. I know a little bit about it, but I'm not very familiar with it. I'm just gonna channel the messages that come through now. So for the source, it's almost like the big brother is watching, but it's not something you have to be scared about. The God is experiencing through you. The God can see your patterns. You're subject to patterns that you as a person live on. So your life in the future it depends on the pattern that you follow in your lifetime. So if you're like a person who is a smoker, and you smoke and that is gonna be the pattern that you'll be living in your rest of your life. You don't have a change of mind, and that's probably gonna impact your life, impact your body, or not impact your life, not impact your body if you're lucky. But regardless, if you're a smoker, there you will be experiencing the outcomes of that pattern that you're living in. So it is a very simple thing. Sometimes it doesn't make even sense because it's such a natural, logical, common thing to talk about, because God is very common. The God is very casual. God is not an extraordinary. That's your creation. The God you worship, that the individual gods you worship, that you give these qualities to, the expression of the God, that's what looks very very supernatural. But the God actually is very very natural, very very common, very human like. The God is very very much like us. So I'm gonna check the back of the deck. We have the Knight of Wands. So Knight of Wands is very action taker. It's a knight energy. So I feel like action, right? The movement in the universe is very important to the sustenance of the human beings and every living things, and also non-living things. The movement is what help the universe to sustain. Even though there are a lot of thoughts about how the Milky Way is heading towards the black hole and we're gonna be swallowed into the black hole, that it's there, right? That is there, all this movement. But without the movement, we will cease to exist almost. So movements, action, the thoughts are also a form of movement. That is a wave energy that just moves. So I would say the God is you can manifest God through action. That can be mental action or physical action. So that's a good thing, right? That's something debated on the spiritual community. Some people say you don't have to take action to manifest things, but you're always manifesting things through your mind, through the sudden thought that you feel like doing, the sudden gut feeling, okay, I should do this, and you do that, right? That's an action. That's a physical action. As for physical action, that comes through your mental action. Everything is laid out, and sometimes it doesn't require physical action, but if it requires physical action, that's also God's thoughts working through you. So you have to do that, and you'll be able to achieve that thing that you wanted to manifest. So that is an action energy. Again, it's a super fast energy. It's a very once energy. It's a fast energy. God is super fast. God is almost, I would say, time, but time can be slowed down. Right, time can be slowed down according to physics. So I feel like the God is super fast energy that sustains the world, and at the same time, God is also like water, can be molded. God can be molded into different forms, and God is everywhere. in the pain, in the suffering, in the good, in the bad. It's everywhere. God is everywhere. God's like the underlying pattern, the foundation of our living, foundation of our universe, and also the force behind our living. So wow, this is such an amazing reading. I just wanted to try this out because why not? This is something that I wish to do today, and I did that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you enjoyed this reading, please comment below and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. I mainly do K-pop videos, but I might as well do a lot of videos that I feel like doing. So it was nice to meet you guys. I'll see you guys next time. I love you. Bye.